And now it's like, no, that's not actually the case.
And that's
And
obviously a testament to the like how talented you are as a musician as well, and like all the guys in the band. Like, I don't know if you ever watched the previous format of Kill Tony, like with
I've
the
watched
old
a few
the older band,
episodes.
but it's a totally different thing. It's good in a different way, but like the music is sort of presented in a sort of comedic way. But you guys
Yeah,
really, um, I and I'm not just saying this because I'm talking to you. Like I genuinely prefer the format of the show now, and the way that I think because I'm a musician, I think it just feels so much better. Like on the last episode, there was a bit where I think Tony was talking about one of the guys on stage, and he was saying that he looked like the guy from Moana, and you guys
yeah,
started playing that song. Like, and I was like, there's no like that couldn't have really happened in the previous format. You know what I
right.
mean? That was
Yeah,
actually something I kind
absolutely.
of wanted to talk to you about. Like, how much of that is prepared? Like, is did that just happen to be something that you guys knew, or were you? Is there a conversation where you're like, let's jam out this
Yeah.
thing?
That's a great question. And actually, I love talking about this because I don't think that everyone who's seen the show like actually realizes this, but the band, like all those guys, like D Madness and John and Mike, um, we've all been like professional, like working musicians for years now. So there is a lot of repertoire that we, have in our bag.
Hmm.
Um, and we're also all like, you know, um, pretty deep in like the improvisational side of things too. So relatively most of what happens on the show is unrehearsed.
Wow.
And and it's the kind of thing where like every, the people on stage are the only people allowed to have like their phones. I know, you probably know what went down between Tony and that guy Pang Dang.
Yeah.
And ever since then, like there's been a rule that they lock up audience members' phones during the show, just so that like no one can kind of repeat what Pang Dang kind of did.
Yeah.
And but the people on stage, the guests and the panel and the band, we all get to have our phones with us. And so the guys in the band, we've just basically got Spotify pulled up for reference. And if there's a moment in the bit or during the interview where someone says something that we feel like we could use, then we either play it if everybody knows it, or everyone just pulls out their earbuds and
Right.
we'll do a quick listen. The bumps that we
That's
play in
crazy,
between
man.
sets are, they're never longer than like a minute and a half. So
Yeah.
as long as we can hit like the chorus of that famous tune, whatever that tune is, then basically the moment lands. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, they just mentioned Moana, and then these guys are playing You're Welcome. Like that's pretty wild. But yeah, a lot of that stuff is just like,
I don't
oh,
even know how many viewers actually catch those things as well. It's
yeah,
awesome, like just to watch it, man. It's so cool. But yeah, I always wondered that, like since you guys were a part of the show, like how much that's rehearsed.
yeah,
That's awesome. And I take it, if you do you play in bands with any of the other guys, or have you previously played in bands with them?
yeah. D Madness and John and I were all in a group with this singer in town. His name's Terrell Shahid, and he had a residency at this cool little spot on Rainy Street called the Half Step. And we were doing that like right up until the pandemic shut everything down in Austin.
Right.
Um, and we were really enjoying it. We had a really good thing going. And so when Tony moved the show to town, um, they very quickly got wind of John because John plays with Gary Clark Jr. And so I think that's how I think that's how the whole thing started. Is I think they approached John.